Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of first impressions using only affordable makeup. I have some new things from ColourPop and I also received my order of all the new Quo Beauty things from Shoppers Drug Mart. I am so happy that they revamped this entire line just because it was super outdated and I really like the vibes that they're going with. It looks like they've been really studying Glossier and M Cosmetics and all the trendier makeups. So I'm excited to see their quality and see if they're affordable dupes for those more expensive products. So before we get into it, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. So I've got my skincare down already as always. So the first product I'm going to be going in with is the Quo Beauty Golden Glow Primer. I really like the packaging of this. I feel like it looks way more high-end than it is, so that's exciting. I'm just gonna take one pump. Okay, one pump is a hell of a lot of product, so maybe I should have went in with a little less. I'm just kind of weary. I don't want it to be like the same kind of primer as the Wet n Wild one I just used. It looks like it's going to be a very reflective one, so I might just use it in some spotted areas just because I want to see how the foundation actually works and not on top of something that's a little Tin Man-y. So I'm just going to apply it in the high points of my face, kind of like I would with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. It has a nice consistency. It feels a little bit more serum-y, more like a gel. Kind of gives me the Charlotte Tilbury vibes just a little bit. Without the coverage, it's just kind of like a under foundation highlight. So now I'm going to be going in with the Quo Beauty Liquid Foundation, 8-hour wear it says, and I'm using the shade 4N. It says to shake well before using. And this is like an exact same packaging as the Glossier skin tint. Like, look at this. The only difference is that this is bigger and it has a pink cap rather than white. Good on them for studying the vibes, you know? It does have a little bit more of a liquidy consistency, not the thinnest ever. And I'm going to be using my brush here that I've been liking so far. I'm going to be using the CoverFX Custom Application Brush. I feel like that could be a good shade match. It's kind of tricky when you're ordering online, especially with drugstore brands. I feel like they always have the worst photos. So there is a lot of coverage in this thing actually. That is almost full coverage, I would say. I was expecting it to be more of like a skin tint. I'm just going to zoom you guys in a little bit more so you can see. But I'd say that's a pretty good shade match. I was not expecting that, but it does look quite lovely on the skin actually. I actually really like the looks of that. Even when I tilt my face like this, look at that glow that it gives. Right here is extra pretty because of that primer. I'm happy that I just decided to spot place it, so my whole face didn't look that reflective. It just looks a little bit too unnatural if it's the same everywhere, but I really like how that looks. So now I'm just gonna go over everything with my beauty blender. We'll see how it wears. I don't see anywhere that it's looking weird at all. Reminds me of this one, kind of the same coverage and the texture and everything like that. This one's just a little bit more matte. This one kind of gives me just more satin vibes. I really like that so far. Now I have this concealer. I'm going to be going in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I have the shade Light Medium Beige. Kind of feel like this is gonna be a matte. Okay, that concealer actually looks quite good. I was expecting it to not be something I would enjoy under the eye, but it actually looks quite good under there. I'm just gonna add some more in that little area just to kind of correct the blueness I've got going on today. It's not too bad, but I just want it to be a little bit more flawless, kind of match the foundation. So far, very impressed with these two complexion products. They look very flawless and not like affordable makeup at all to me. That's the vibes I'm getting. So here's the skin. I'm super impressed so far. I'm going to zoom you guys in as close as possible so you can see everything. Here I've got some acne that's really deep down so you can see all of my bumps and such, but they still, when I'm facing forward, you can't even tell that they're there. Everything just looks really good, and I'm having a lot of dryness down over here and it's not accentuating it at all. Just maybe this one little patch here, but even so, it's just kind of going over it without accentuating any of the dry patches around it. So far so good. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to quickly powder my under eyes. This isn't the first time I use this powder, but it is the second. This is the Honest Beauty Invisible Blurring Loose Powder. I'm still testing this out, so I might as well use it in this video. Just gonna use some on my sponge and set my little eye creases right here. Okay, so I'm going to let that hang out for a second, and I'm going to do my brows off camera quickly. So please enjoy the brow intermission. Okay, so the brows are on, and I kind of regret putting on that powder. It looks a little too yellow for me actually. It is more of a banana leaning powder, and I don't think that flatters me personally. So I feel like it just looks off. So not my favorite. Might have been a combination of the concealer and that together, because I don't remember that happening last time I used it. I don't know what happened. But anyways, moving on to the rest of the face. I'm going to be going in with this bronzing powder in the shade Cool Contour 25. This is from Quo Beauty. It looks kind of cute. I really like this packaging for some reason. Even though it's quite simple, it just reminds me of something, I don't know what. I'm going to be using this brush here, the Sephora Precision Foundation Brush. It has a nice formulation. It kind of reminds me of the Benefit Hoola formulation, that it's kind of more on the drier side, but it still blends out very flawlessly. I do enjoy this color a little bit more than the Hoola. It's not as red. It's definitely, it does have that coolness to it, which I do enjoy. And I'm just going to bring that slightly across the bridge of my nose. That's cute. I actually really like that. Wow, I'm having a lot of success with today's video. Money well spent in my book so far. I'm so happy that they revamped all of this makeup line, because I used to work at Shoppers Drug Mart, if you weren't aware. I think I've mentioned it only a few times on my channel, but this whole section used to be my nightmare, because I don't know why, but it always had the most theft and I would have to deal with that all the time. So I just didn't have the best memories, but now it feels like a whole new brand to me, and it really is exciting. I never really ventured into it that much. It never really spoke to me and gave me bad memories. But anyways, this looks fantastic. Now moving on to blush. They have a multitude of different formulations, but I picked up these two just because I wanted to compare them to the M Cosmetics Serum Blush as well as the Glossier ones, because like, come on, look at these. Like identical. Even like the little cap, like it's identical for sure. Quo even put a little sticker here, and Glossier is kind of famous for their little stickers. And here's the dewy cheek tint. Like, come on. Right? Same vibes, which is exciting. Because this is the palette I'm going to be using today. This is the ColourPop Wild Nothing palette. I think I'm going to go for this Quo one here, the Feather Weight Cream Blush, but I'm going to swatch both of them so you can see them side by side. This one's for sure a lot deeper than the Cloud Paint, which is not a big deal. It feels quite similar in formulation. It feels like the Glossier one is just a little bit more lightweight. So here is the Quo one, and here's the Glossier one. So the Glossier is a lot more yellow undertoned, whereas this one's more pink. But it kind of gives me Nude Stick Sun-Kissed vibes, or maybe even Beach Babe. So here's Sun-Kissed. Quite similar. Beach Babe is just a little bit more deep and obviously matte, and this is Beach Babe. Let's see what that looks like compared. Oh yeah, it's like a Beach Babe dupe. I wonder if it kind of mattes down a little bit or what, but I'm going to swatch the serum blush too. This is the M Cosmetics Cherry Splash, and here is the Quo Dewy Cheek Tint in the shade Crushing. This one right here is the Quo one, which is a lot more corally, whereas this one's like a true red. They feel identical, like honestly, same thing. Maybe this one's just a little bit more sheer. I'm gonna definitely have to use that in a video coming up soon. Your girl's feeling a little defeated today because the Flames are out of the playoffs and so are the Oilers, so I feel sad that I don't have any teams that I feel connected to watch anymore. This color is so freaking cute. Oh my god. This is the 777 brush from Melt Cosmetics. It's the first one I saw. Guys, I'm gonna order all the colors. I only ordered one of each just in case if the formulation was off. This is so good. This is a winner. This is my #1 favorite so far. Although everything has been super impressing me today. I'm really hitting the jackpot today. Okay, it feels identical to the Glossier Cloud Paint. I might even like this one even more just because it gives me more of a sun-kissed look rather than just kind of like a natural nude color. Just speaking on this shade right here alone, Dusk. Can you tell I'm excited? I feel like I'm losing my breath. Now moving on to the eyes. Like I said, I am going to be using this guy today. They also came out with 4 cream shadows, which are interesting. They always have the funnest names. Like I always wonder who names all of these eyeshadows all the time. They launch so many things. They must have a whole different team just for naming products. I don't know if I'm going to be using them today, but look at this one. It looks like a little poo-poo in a jar. I don't know how I feel about these. This is the shade Camouflage. I don't know, I don't really understand the colors that they launched in these for the first round. Like that's pretty gray. Maybe they were aiming for these to be more eye primers perhaps because they're like all these types of tones. I don't know. This is the shade Bronco, which this name does not fit for me. By the way, I want a Ford Bronco so badly. It's the first car I've ever been like, damn. This is the shade Laurel, which again is very gray and pink. I don't really understand these. And this is the only one I'd see myself using. This is the shade Moonbeam, which kind of looks like Abyssinian from Tom Ford, but it seems to be a little bit more of a dry formulation. I'm gonna have to just try this out one time. It looks quite patchy in a swatch, but it's a nice color. I'm gonna have to test it out on the eyes another time. So I'm just going to quickly prime my eyes and zoom you guys in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm actually really excited about this palette. There's something about it that really ignites excitement within me. Here are a few swatches that I just put on my hand here. Looks so pretty. They really know how to make shimmer shades. I'm first going to start off with the shade Morningside, which is this nice little peach tone. And I'm using this Melt Cosmetics 818 brush. The only problem with this palette, it kind of pranked me at first, is that there's not really a lot of depth giving shadows. There's pretty much this one. These two right here kind of look like they have a little bit of potential, but they turn out to be quite light toned when you actually swatch them. See, they're both on my fingers here, you can tell. So I don't know about that. It's definitely not a palette that would suit all of the skin tones. So now I'm going to be going in with No Bounds, and I'm going to define the outer crease. And I'm also going to bring that on the outer corner, the outer V. I'm also going to bring that color on the lower lash line. This is a Sonia Kashif brush. I'm also going to bring that No Bound shade kind of more into the crease just to define, make my eyes look a little bit bigger. I need to go back into that peach shade anyways to bring it more to the foreground. So far it's very average. I feel like just the tones and the packaging really spoke to me, but honestly this palette isn't super unique once I get into it, but I don't know. I don't know my thoughts yet. So now moving into a shimmer shade, I'm going to be using the shade Seashells, which is that beautiful green in here. I'm going to dampen my brush just so I get more control. And this is a Smith 253 brush. Cute. Okay, I'm just gonna take a dry brush just to kind of feather that. I'm also going to bring that on the lower portion as well. And then for the inner corner, I'm going to be using the shade Spirited right as my inner corner. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of that peachy shade and bring that on the lower portion just to tie that in. Or else it looks kind of off to me or something. That powder is awful under my eyes. I don't know if you can see that. It's just pure orange, yellow under there. It's really, really bad. And now that I'm really looking at my under eyes, can you see this like little line of demarcation right here? And it almost made the concealer oxidize. Like I wish I just didn't set it at all, or with one of the powders I can trust. It just looks really, really not fantastic. I'm just gonna catch this eye up to speed and I will be right back. Okay, so here are the eyes with just eyeshadow. I'm going to quickly spray my face with some of this NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. I realized I forgot to even put on a highlighter. I don't even have a new highlighter to use, so I'm just going to use this and hopefully dewyfy my face. I'm going to cover my eyes so I don't crease. Mascara time. I'm going to be trying out this Honest Beauty mascara, and it's also cool because it has a lash primer on one side. So what I think I'm going to do is put the lash primer only on one side and none on the other, see what the differences are. Ooh, that's different. She's a long boy. I like how it's not super white when it goes on the eyes. I mean the lashes, just because I find that the super white ones can make the mascara gray out during the day. I don't know. I've never found a lash primer that I truly loved except for the Lancome one. So it has one of those silicone-y ones, which are always scary to get used to because sometimes they poke the crap out of your eyeball. Ooh, this is nice. This is nice. I always find that I am scared of these, but they always turn out to be some of my all-time favorite mascaras, like the JULIAA one or the Glossier mascara. It actually looks quite lovely. It's very lengthening, not very volumizing. Okay, so here's with the lash primer, a little bit clumpy. I can already tell a difference that the primer side kind of gives more volume, but this kind of makes it look more fluffy. Can you tell a difference? I feel like I can. I kind of prefer the side without. I'm just drawn to this eye more. I'm gonna use it on the bottom. I personally prefer more lengthening and volumizing. I like to have both, just because I feel like my eyelashes are kind of long but not very thick, so I like them to look long and thick. So here are the eyes all finished. I honestly, not my favorite eye look of all time. I feel like this formulation of the ColourPop eyeshadows is not up to par with other ones, to be honest. I feel like the colors aren't as vibrant. Like I really had to amp up this peach shade a couple of times and still it feels like it's fading into the background a lot. The brown isn't my favorite. I mean, it's just a typical kind of more neutral brown. And the green is not as nice as I was expecting it to be. Like I feel like it's not on caliber with other ColourPop palettes that I truly love. But now moving on to lips, I have a few things here. I don't know what I want to use. So I got the new ColourPop Luxe lip oils, which I'm really excited about. They look absolutely stunning. I have 3 shades here, which I think any of them would look really nice. Obviously a clear one would always suit anything, but these look really good, especially with this blush. This one I'm eyeing the most, and with this eye look looks great. I'm gonna put that to the side. These are 2 Honest Beauty tinted lip balms. That sounds really fun. I'm gonna swatch the Luxe oil as well. This is the shade Summer Melon. Cute. This is the shade Fruit Punch. Oh my god, what a cute color. Orangey color. Love. And here's the Luxe lip oil. This is the shade Playa Vista. Nice neutral, kind of more orange leaning nudie tone for lighter skinned folks. And then I also purchased this lip gloss from Quo Beauty, which look how freaking cute. It looks like a product that Sugar Pill would launch or something. Isn't it nice? I always love the look of clear lip glosses. I don't know what it is. It just looks like it's a good, nice, healthy drink of water or something. I don't know. It's just very satisfying for me to look at. I think I'm gonna line my lips first with one of these Wet n Wild gel crayons. Let's see what color's best. Picking lip colors is always so tedious to me. I don't know why. So I picked up these 2 shades here. One is called Bear to Comment, which I think would suit this look the best. And this other peach color is called Doll in Love Again. I'm gonna go in with the Bear to Comment. It feels very similar to the new M Cosmetics formulation. Very glidey, very blurring almost, and very creamy. I really like that. I think that suits this look very well. I really don't like my eyeshadow today. I'm gonna go in with the ColourPop Luxe lip oil in the shade Playa Vista. Has a nice scent. I definitely touched my nose. Has more of a citrus vibe to it. That feels wonderful. I really like that texture. So here is the final look. I really like everything but the eyes. I feel like the green shade in this palette turned out way too stark and it feels like my eyes kind of disappear within it. I don't know, not my favorite. I'm going to quickly gather my thoughts on all of the products and give you my final little review. Okay, so I'm first going to start off with my favorites of the day. So first starting off with this Quo Golden Hour Primer. I really liked how I used it today. I think that's the only way I would go to use this type of product. I kind of feel like it's a good alternative alternative if you don't feel like buying the Holly. It didn't screw up anything, and I like the glow from within look that it added to my base. So I would totally recommend this product so far. I'm obviously going to be testing out all of these products more, so I can give more of a well-rounded opinion on all of them in a roundup video. So keep that in mind. This is only my first impressions of all of them. It's not my final review. So now moving on to the Quo Beauty Liquid Foundation. Highly, highly, highly impressed by this. I think it looks so fantastic on the skin. It doesn't even look like I'm wearing foundation. I love how correcting it was and everywhere. It just looks very flawless, and something that's not at this price point at all. It definitely reminds me of a higher end product. It honestly works better than a lot of the higher end foundations that I've tried in the past. Really excited about this. I will definitely be using this more on my channel. I think it's going to be one of my staples, and I'm really excited to mix and match it with some of my primers or other foundations to make it a little bit more glowy or whatever it may be. Really excited. One of my all-time favorites of the day. Following up, this has got to be my #1 favorite of the day, my #1 favorite discovery. And right after I finish filming this, I'm going to be ordering some more. The Featherweight Cream Blush, so beautiful. The shade I used, by the way, is Pure 59. I don't think I mentioned it, my bad, but damn. It was so good. I am so in love with it. It totally is just like, it totally reminds me of just a new shade of a Glossier Cloud Paint, which is just incredible, and at such a more palatable price point. So this is fantastic. So extremely excited about it. And I love this tone as well. As you guys know, I love those more bronzed blushes, and this just gives me all of the things I love. So this is my #1 recommendation of the day. Following up, I have this Quo Beauty bronzing powder. I actually really enjoyed how this applied. I think it looks very flawless and airbrushed on the skin. It really reminds me of a mix of the Hoola bronzer as well as the Charlotte Tilbury one. So I think this one is a winner in my eyes as well. I see myself using this a lot, especially in the winter, since it does have that coolness to it. Really excited about everything I've tried for the base products. Another favorite of mine was the gel lip liner from Wet n Wild. This was a stunning formulation. Totally reminded me of the Cosmetics, their new lip liners. It was very easy to apply, one of the quickest lip liner jobs I've done in a while. I would totally recommend them. I love a mechanical pencil. I feel like it's just a lot easier to carry around in a purse or anything like that. You don't have to worry about not having a sharpener around. Love that aspect. And my last favorite of the day was the ColourPop Luxe Lip Oil. I really like this texture on the lips. It feels very conditioning. It just doesn't feel sticky at all. That's the joy of lip oils in general. I love the more satin finish to it. It's not super glossy, but I still see myself using this like crazy. Feels very comfortable, very nourishing, very easy. Reminds me of the new Illstrumentalist formulation, how it just feels good. It just feels good. Now moving on to my not so favorites of the day, or the ones I need to try out more. First, starting off with the Wet n Wild concealer. First, when this went on, it was flawless. I just want to try it out again with a different powder just because it looks like it oxidized under there in combination with this, so I'm just hesitant about this guy so far. So let me know your experiences with this guy if you've tried it. I need to get more use out of it. Test it out more. Sadly, this powder just kind of failed to me today. It was just too yellow. I wonder if they have like a different, like more translucent one. You can see here that it's a little bit more of a banana powder vibe. So this just didn't work out for me. I really don't like the way my under eyes look at all. If you do have a different skin tone than me and you like the more yellow powders, it is very lovely and blurring, which is a big factor that I do really like. I just don't like the way it oxidized my concealer and darkened everything under there. Not a fan. I think it's ultimately just too drying for my tastes. And then following up with the ColourPop Wild Nothing palette. First of all, this packaging, 10 out of 10 for me. I love plants, and cacti on here, just so freaking cute. And it's a little bit better for the environment since there's no mirror in here or anything. I don't really utilize mirrors in my palettes at all, so that's a factor that I don't care about. To me, this palette looks very beautiful, like the aesthetics. The tones look so nice and easy on the eye, but on the actual eye, it just doesn't perform the way I was hoping. That spark I had initially that I said that ignited some inspiration to me has soon left. don't know. I really thought I was going to like this whole look. I thought it was going to turn out a lot differently. It's a no for me, fam. Something's off. I don't know. The matte formulation in here is not as creamy or pigmented as usual. Like, I feel like this looks very low end and not something from ColourPop, if that makes any sense. I'm kind of disappointed. And lastly, this Honest Beauty mascara. I don't know, I'm gonna have to test it out a little bit more, but upon first application, not my favorite. It's a little too spidery for me. I like the idea how there's the dual-sided thing, super fun idea. The packaging is super cute. I love this peachy tone. I just, the outcome on my own lashes, not my favorite. It does not beat any of my other mascaras, especially the new Wet n Wild one that I've been trying, the Mega Lash. That one has been treating me real good. It feels almost like a Pat McGrath dupe for me. In my books, this one is just very forgettable to me. That concludes all of the products. Those are my final thoughts. So that wraps up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products in the description down below as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.